2021 is over. Thank goodness. The sequel to 2020 was just as crap as the original, and now hopefully we are in the final part of the trilogy, and this will be the last one. Fingers crossed. But talking about movies, we are actually talking about the 10 worst movies of 2021. Now, I will say I have limited this just to indie movies. In these previous lists, I've kind of mixed up mainstream and kind of like indie B movies and things like that in one list. This year, I'm just doing it kind of indie movies, because I've seen very few mainstream films, to be honest with you. So it's just independent movies, just lower budget ones that have come straight to VOD, DVD in 2021. Some of these may have had a festival release in the previous year, but you know, for the most part, they're all general releases that have come out in 2021. We are going to have a couple of dishonourable mentions. The first one of those being Aquarium of the Dead. This is the third part of the Zombies movies, which was just a kind of a waste of an opportunity to have the inhabitants of an aquarium come back to life. Silly, crappy, as you'd expect, worse than the first two Zombies movies, which I actually kind of quite like the first one, to be honest. Yeah, this one was a waste of an opportunity. The second honourable mention will be Dwellers, a movie that was produced by Megadeth's David Ellefson. A fact that this film will not let you forget the amount of times there's Ellefson in the damn thing, and was a boring found footage movie about these three people who go exploring in these underground tunnels. Okay, so let's get on to the official top 10 Geek Legion of Doom worst indie genre movies of 2021. Big title there. Number 10 is going to be The Survivalist. I scored this 3 out of 10, and it has a good cast. You've got Jonathan Rhys-Meyers, you've got John Malkovich in it, but that is where the goodness ends. This was a poor, boring, post-apocalyptic movie that really was just being hammed up by John Malkovich with a kind of very dull, uninteresting plot and poor kind of character motivation, things like that. Not worth your time. That was number 10. Number 9 is The Nest, which is also known as The Bewailing. And this is a creature feature about killer bugs, except we really don't see any kind of creatures in this movie. I think there's one shot where we see these bugs that kind of burrow into people's head and kind of mind controls them. A boring kind of pod people style movie that has poor acting and an uninteresting premise. It's just derivative of every other type of Invasion of the Body Snatchers style movie. Number 8, we are talking Nest of Vampires, and I scored this one a 2. This was a low-budget British movie that is a crime vampire hybrid, poorly kind of put together, poorly acted, silly kind of convoluted story, too many kind of characters, bad acting. It's kind of all there. A real kind of, unfortunately, bit of a mess of a film for the first time director here. But yeah, it was kind of a little bit of a struggle to sit through that one. So number 7, we are talking The PARAPOD, a very British ghost hunt. Now this was a movie based on a popular paranormal podcast called The PARAPOD, where its two hosts go on a kind of a road trip trying to find out paranormal answers. And it's just essentially a boring found footage style movie with two guys having the opportunity to try and kind of show their comedy stylings and some kind of ham-fisted comedy with very little kind of story, and ultimately it's just a bore fest and not worth your time. Next up we have Jurassic Shark 2 Aquapocalypse, which I also scored a 2 out of 10. Yeah, the best thing about this movie is its title, which I will say, yes, it's a clever title. A low-budget B-movie shark film that is just one of these kind of ones that get trotted out, trying to be kind of funny, and it's a kind of a one-joke film. Crappy, boring, not worth your time, and it isn't even the worst shark film on this list. Next up, we have Dragon Fury. This one is by Jagged Edge Productions, which is Scott Jeffries' B-movie empire, who trot out loads of kind of low budget films. This to me was the kind of the worst one. I also scored it a 2 out of 10. a dire film with a stupid plot involving these kind of dragons with, you know, even in its kind of B-movie realm that it exists in, a ridiculous kind of like set of circumstances that you're meant to kind of believe. Crappy kind of CGI, shitty actors. Yeah, it is bad. Next up, we have Zombie 8, Urban Decay. This one is meant to kind of homage, shall we say, the movie Zombie, also kind of zombie flesh eaters. I also scored this a 2 out of 10. It's a practically zero budget film where our central protagonist disappears halfway through the film, and then the remainder of the movie, all it is watching kind of zombies kind of walk around in kind of poor makeup. Yes, it features Sean C. Phillips, who seems to be popping up in every single crappy low budget horror movie these days. Terrible film, 2 out of 10. I only liked one zombie makeup, and that's where it got a 2 out from. But now we come into the top 3 worst films of 2021. So these are all 1 out of 10s. The absolute bottom of the barrel. The first one, and this is one I didn't remember, to be honest with you. I had to watch my review, and that is Rise of the Mummy. A terrible, low-budget mummy film, which, again, just a slap-together plot, poor acting, not scary in the slightest, and actually somewhat cringe-worthy. Yes, this movie is truly terrible and will make you want to scratch out your eyes. However, I would say the next one is even worse, and that is The Last Inn, a bizarre kind of, I don't know how you would describe it really, almost like alternate reality sort of film where this woman has a car crash and ends up kind of staying in this hotel where the inhabitants are all weird. It's kooky for being kooky's sake. It's let's try and make a cult film with have non-tentacle characters all mince around doing kind of random stuff and throw everything at it. Terrible, like eye-rollingly bad acting in this movie. Horrible visuals. Just boring storyline. A real struggle to sit through this one. Yeah, The Last Inn, 1 out of 10. But taking the crown of the crappiest movie of 2021, in my mind, there can be no doubt this is Apex Predators. Also by the same people who did Zombie 8, by the way. And it is a terrible shark film without a shark. And again, it features Sean C. Phillips. And it's basically these shark attacks on the Los Angeles coast. It's so amateur. You know, you can't believe someone has produced this movie and then put it out and expecting people to pay for it. It is ridiculously bad. And it genuinely looks like someone just got on a beach and filmed a bunch of kind of random people in some shots and without their permission and kind of bunged it on a film. It is so amateurish. This genuinely is the crappiest film. Aaran, a good friend of mine who contributes to the store, this is also on his list, but he could have put it higher because he thought it was so bad it was kind of funny. It's just bad, if you ask me. To me, this is such a legitimate, badly made film with no redeeming qualities. It has to be my number 1. So there you go. That is the list of 2021. Have you seen any of those stinkers? And what did you think of them? Please do leave me comments, and I shall look forward to seeing you next time. Bye for now.